A political shockwave in Florida. Democrats flip a deep red district around Mar-a-Lago. In a stunning political upset that has reverberated far beyond the borders of Florida, Democrats have flipped a Republican stronghold in a special election held in a state house district that includes former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. The victory of Democrat Emily Gregory over Republican John Maples marks not only a symbolic win in Trump's political backyard, but also a potential indicator of broader national political trends ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. This election result, while localized, carries implications that extend into the heart of American politics, raising questions about voter sentiment, party momentum, and the evolving electoral map in traditionally conservative regions. A surprise victory in Trump territory. The Florida House District 87 special election was triggered by the resignation of Republican Mike Caruso, who vacated the seat to become Palm Beach County's clerk. Caruso had comfortably won the district by approximately 19 percentage points in 2024, underscoring the district's strong Republican lean. Against this backdrop, Emily Gregory's victory is nothing short of remarkable. A first-time candidate and small business owner with a background in public health, Gregory managed to defeat John Maples, a Republican who had secured the endorsement of Donald Trump himself. With nearly all votes counted, Gregory led by roughly 2 to 2.4 percentage points, a narrow but decisive margin that flipped the seat from red to blue. The symbolism of the district cannot be overstated. It includes Mar-a-Lago, Trump's private club, and primary residence, making the outcome particularly striking. For Democrats, the result represents not just a numerical gain, but a psychological victory in one of the most recognizable centers of Republican power. Who is Emily Gregory? Emily Gregory's political rise is as noteworthy as her victory. Before entering politics, she was known primarily as a fitness business owner specializing in maternal health. She had never held public office, making her candidacy something of a gamble for the Democratic Party. Yet her campaign strategy proved effective. Rather than focusing heavily on national partisan conflicts, Gregory emphasized local issues such as affordability, healthcare, and education. Her background in public health also allowed her to present herself as a pragmatic, solutions-oriented candidate. This approach resonated with voters who may have been fatigued by highly polarized national politics. Gregory herself expressed surprise at the outcome, describing the experience as almost surreal. Nevertheless, her victory positioned her as a rising figure within the Democratic Party, especially in a state where Democrats have historically struggled to compete statewide. The role of Donald Trump's involvement in the race adds another layer of complexity. The former president endorsed John Maples and encouraged turnout among his supporters, signalling that the race was not merely local but carried national significance. However, the endorsement did not translate into victory. Instead, Gregory's win suggests that Trump's political influence, while still substantial, may not be as decisive in certain contexts as it once was. Adding to the irony, Trump reportedly voted by mail in this election, despite having repeatedly criticized mail-in voting as unreliable. This contradiction did not go unnoticed by critics and commentators, further highlighting the unusual dynamics surrounding the race. A broader trend of Democratic gains, Gregory's victory is not an isolated gutno. It fits into a broader pattern of Democratic overperformance in special elections since Trump returned to the White House in 2025. According to political analysts and party officials, Democrats have flipped dozens of seats across the country in recent months. These gains have occurred in both competitive districts and areas previously considered safely Republican. Such trends are often viewed as early indicators of voter sentiment heading into midterm elections. Historically, consistent overperformance in special elections has correlated with strong results in subsequent national contests. For example, similar patterns were observed prior to the 2006 midterm elections, which resulted in significant Democratic gains in Congress. Voter concerns: economy and cost of living. One of the key drivers behind the Democratic surge appears to be voter dissatisfaction with economic conditions. Rising costs of living, including housing, groceries, and fuel, have become central issues for many Americans. In Gregory's campaign, these concerns were front and center. She framed her candidacy as focused on lowering costs and standing up for working families, a message that resonated with voters across party lines. Political observers note that economic anxiety often plays a decisive role in elections, especially in districts where partisan loyalties are not absolute. Even in traditionally conservative areas, voters may be willing to cross party lines if they feel their economic concerns are not being addressed. Republican challenges and internal questions. For Republicans, the loss raises several important questions. How did a district that favoured their party by nearly 20 points just 2 years ago flip to the opposition? And what does this mean for the party's strategy moving forward? Some analysts point to candidate-specific factors, such as campaign messaging and local engagement. Others emphasise broader national dynamics, including voter fatigue and shifting priorities. There were also controversies surrounding John Maple's candidacy, including questions about his residency in the district, allegations he denied. While it is unclear how much this affected the outcome, it may have contributed to voter skepticism. More broadly, the results suggest that Republican dominance in certain regions may be less secure than previously assumed. The symbolism of Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago is more than just a geographic landmark. It is a symbol of Trump's political identity and influence. That a Democrat will now represent the district that includes this iconic property carries significant symbolic weight. Democratic leaders have been quick to highlight this point, framing the victory as evidence that even the most entrenched Republican strongholds are competitive. If Mar-a-Lago is vulnerable, one party official remarked, imagine what's possible in upcoming elections. This narrative serves both as a morale boost for Democrats and as a warning signal to Republicans. Implications for the 2026 midterms. Looking ahead, the implications of this election are substantial. The 2026 midterms will determine control of Congress and play a crucial role in shaping the remainder of Trump's presidency. Special elections are often seen as bellwethers for these larger contests. While they do not always predict outcomes with perfect accuracy, they provide valuable insights into voter behaviour and party momentum. If the trends observed in Florida and other states continue, Democrats may be positioned to make significant gains in November. Conversely, Republicans will need to reassess their strategies and address the factors contributing to recent losses. The importance of candidate quality. One lesson from this election is the importance of candidate quality and local engagement. Gregory's success was not solely the result of national trends, it was also a product of her campaign's ability to connect with voters on specific issues. Her emphasis on practical concerns, combined with her outsider status, allowed her to appeal to a broad coalition of voters. This suggests that, even in highly polarised environments, candidates who focus on local needs and present credible solutions can overcome partisan barriers. For both parties, this underscores the need to carefully select and support candidates who can resonate with their constituencies. A changing political landscape. The Florida special election highlights the fluidity of the current political landscape. Districts that were once considered safe are becoming competitive, and voter behaviour is increasingly influenced by immediate concerns rather than long-standing party affiliations. This shift reflects broader changes in American politics, including demographic trends, economic pressures, and evolving media environments. It also suggests that both parties must remain adaptable and responsive to changing conditions if they hope to succeed in future elections. Conclusion. The Democratic victory in Florida's 87th House District is more than just a local upset. It is a signal of potential to howl in American politics. By flipping a deeply Republican district that includes Mar-a-Lago, Emily Gregory has delivered a win that resonates on both symbolic and strategic levels. Her success highlights the importance of addressing voter concerns, the limits of political endorsements, and the growing competitiveness of the electoral map. As the 2026 midterm elections approach, this result will likely be studied closely by strategists, analysts, and politicians alike. Whether it proves to be an early indicator of a broader shift or a unique gotne remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that the political landscape is changing, and both parties must be prepared to navigate an increasingly unpredictable terrain.